Hi, I am Shirley O'Regan. I am a teacher, a writer, an illustrator, and a broadcaster. But more than all of that combined, I am an enthusiastic reader, and I am delighted and privileged to have been asked by Limerick Libraries to be an ambassador for the Irish Reads Initiative and to come on today and talk to you about squeezing in a read. Now, I read every single day of life. I've read every single day of my life since I've known how to read. But that doesn't necessarily mean I always have a lot of time to read, but I still squeeze in reads every day. For example, when I'm traveling long journeys in my car, I can squeeze in a read with an audiobook. When I am out and about, I squeeze in a read with my trusty Kindle. I don't mind how I find my texts. I don't think that's important. I know that some people are particularly in favour of one way or another. I think the stories are important, the texts are important, and engaging with them is important, no matter what format we choose. I bring my trusty Kindle. At the moment, I am reading Again Rachel by Marian Keyes. It's newly out and I'm really enjoying it. Or alternatively, you will often find me with a small book or a Lárán Beag in Mavala. This is one of my favourite collections of poetry, Arable Spidoiga by Shauna Reardon. I adore this book and I often use it to squeeze in a read because, as you can see, it is very small, it's handbag friendly, pocket friendly, and it contains some of the most beautiful, most profound poetry that I have read in any language. Check it out. Other times I squeeze in a read by revisiting favourite books or reading books about books. One of my very favourite books is If on a Winter's Night a Traveller by Italo Calvino. This is in translation and it is a book in which the reader themselves is the hero of the text, and it is as much a book about the love of reading as it is about anything else. It's wonderful. Every single year since I first read it, I revisit my favourite book, one of my favourite books. Asking me to pick a favourite book is like asking a parent to pick a favourite child. I have favourites for different moods and different occasions, but one of my very favourite books that I revisit every single year is Jane Eyre. I read Jane Eyre at least once a year, and I just think that she is a very strong, very relatable heroine, and it's a beautiful, beautiful book. And another of my very favourite things to do when I'm reading for comfort, which of course I think we all have been over the past while. We've all been out of our routines and anxious and various things, and reading brings comfort at these times. As I was saying the other day, it reminds me of the very famous quote, "Reading gives us somewhere to go when we have to stay where we are." And where I go when I have to stay where I am, when I'm looking for comfort or solace or distraction, I go to Hogwarts. Believe it or not. This is a new Mina Lima edition of the Harry Potter books. There are many editions, of course, and there are collectors for all of the editions. But one of the things I like about this is it encourages you to engage with the text in a very vivid way with the illustrations, because yes, like Alice, I like books with pictures in them. And I'm a grown-up, believe it or not. So I lead people to believe. Now, if you have had a busy day and you haven't managed to squeeze in a read throughout the day, one of the things that I heartily recommend is squeezing in a poem before bedtime. Now, this is a poem for every night of the year. This anthology is a beautiful anthology that I received as a gift a number of years ago. And it's a wonderful little way of squeezing in a read because it doesn't take long and it's just a beautiful, relaxing thing to do at bedtime. However you do it, try to squeeze in a read. It's relaxing, it is distracting, it provides comfort and solace and food for thought. So for today, squeeze in a read and don't buy into any of those things where people talk about guilty pleasures when they're reading. Read what you love what you read, and for today, squeeze in a read.